Good morning and welcome everyone to the 2021 Women's Leadership Council Kickoff. I'm Bobby Watgier, President and CEO of United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania. As you know, this is the 20th anniversary of the WLC, and I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning, wherever you are. I know there are several virtual, safe, in-person watch parties going on right now. But as good as we're getting at doing these online events, I know we're all looking forward to seeing each other in person again soon. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors for making this kickoff possible. Premier sponsor UPMC and UPMC Health Plan. Keystone sponsors Highmark, Allegheny Health Network, and PNC. Event sponsors FedEx Ground, Sendell Motors, and UPS. Your support of the Women's Leadership Council events has never been more appreciated. This will be a banner year for the WLC. We continue to grow and diversify our membership to reflect and respond to the thriving region we represent. We are more than 2,200 members strong, drawing from the 5 counties served by United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania. And we have all types of members, including corporate leaders, entrepreneurs, small business owners, and more. That makes your WLC one of the largest and most dynamic organizations in the entire country. The growth and tenacious dedication you've shown during these past 18 months is a testament to the fact that it's impossible to keep powerful women down. Just the opposite. We've learned that in times of crisis, it's often women leaders that rise to the challenge with strength and resolve in corporations, in government, in nonprofits, right here in our community. So you may be wondering, how did WLC get to where we are today? Anniversaries cause us to reflect in that way. Well, it didn't just happen. It took women just like you who decided to look at their community around them and say, how can we make this better? And 5 amazing women, Susie Broadhurst, Anne McGuinn, Michelle Fabrizi, Sharon Rohr, and Susie Johnson, first got together over 20 years ago. But this story is best told by them in their own words. So we have a special video to share with you this morning from our founding members. So let's share this approximately 8-minute video with you now.
Wow, it's been 20 years. Remember when it started.
Jim and I had been chair of the campaign and we were losing. What can we do? And so we sat and chatted about it and thought, oh my goodness, there's got to be some way. And probably you remember that women were starting to be in the workplace, a lot more women, and thought, oh gosh, maybe we could tap into them. And so that's where we went, and I thought, okay, we can't do this alone, Lil, you and me. But I know somebody, and it was Anne McGuinn. We got Anne McGuinn involved. No, and we had decided that we needed to have more people than you and me.
Yes.
And so we thought we would get the wives of other corporate leaders.
Yes.
And we had Susie Johnson join us from Heinz,
Right.
and Sharon Rohr from PNC, and got the 4 together. And we sat and said, there's something missing.
Yeah.
We needed marketing, and so who's better as a woman as Michelle Fabrizi. So that was so exciting to get that whole group together and to start to talk about what could we as women really do in this city. And don't you think too, what we realized at the time is women gave differently.
Yes.
They gave from their heart.
Yes.
And so it was really exciting to talk about the women that were getting involved because they knew that their money would be doing something good through United Way. And that to me was the most exciting part of it. And I think it's evolved to be even better than when we had it.
And there's more leadership of women in this city now. I
Yes.
mean,
Oh,
when,
yes.
when I moved here in 1981, there weren't very many women in
No,
leadership.
that's for
They
sure.
really
Yeah,
weren't.
it was a very dominant male town. You know, the corporations, to your point, you were the
Right.
single CEO of a large organization. How I got involved really was that I met other women like you who asked me to get involved. And it was so refreshing to have women taking a leadership role and understanding exactly why the need was there. We were empathetic, we were sympathetic, but we were smart.
Women's leadership in the community has always been there, but now through United Way in this program, women can and want to write a check to take care of these organizations and the people in our communities.
We thought about it from the ground up, and so we tried to make adjustments as we
Yes.
went along so that it didn't
That's
fail.
right.
And I think the idea too of having such a great group of women networking together,
Yes.
because we were all in silos.
Yes.
We weren't
That's right.
really all
That's a
working
great
for the
point.
same
Yes,
corporation.
absolutely
We
right.
weren't just
Yeah.
all working in the same environment. And so as you helped me and I learned from you and so forth, that actually built on the foundation of this.
And the women become friends.
Yes.
I know.
That's
All
right.
these years.
That's right.
Exactly,
Oh,
and that's where it started.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many fantastic women's organizations in Western Pennsylvania. So no matter how small or large an organization is, United Way fortifies them, provides them with resources, makes them strong.
It was a gateway for me to get to know the city, the people. I think when you meet the volunteers, and they're from all walks of life, and their interests are so varied, that you really get to know your community.
You know, I'm a very positive thinker, and I always look ahead, and I always like to say in business, let's be 10 steps in front. And to me, when I look at what we have accomplished from 20 years ago to today, we have been that. We have been 10 steps in front. We have been, impacting our Western Pennsylvania's communities, and it's just, we are so well positioned for the future. At this, I see it just continuing to grow.
You know, you said something really important, Michelle. You were talking about really sort of mentoring younger people and inviting them to come to the breakfast.
These young women are the future. And the fact that we have so many and we're getting more young women in is absolutely critical. When I look at all the young women that are in there and they want mentorship, they want to expand their relationships, they want to network with people like us or even younger than us, imagine that.
There are a lot of them younger than us.
And small business is women. They're women-owned businesses, entrepreneurs, young women just starting out, just young women wanting to be, part of something big and learning leadership and getting mentored.
And we all care about the community.
Exactly.
Just look at when we started this, earning the first year out, these young women, we raised $1 million the first year. That's astounding. I mean, that's astounding by
It is.
any measurement. And then in 20 years, the trajectory is that we are headed for $100 million.
And you think about all the people that have been touched in those 20
Yes.
years with that $100 million.
That's right.
I say let's go for 100, and I hope in 20 more years it'll be 200.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad we were here in the beginning, and I'm
Yes,
happy
yes.
that we're here now and that we have something to really feel proud about, and something that we feel started with the help of the United Way and brought us all together.
That's right.
It's been a great 20 years, girls.
What a fantastic video. 10 steps in front. That's what this Women's Leadership Council has been. So thank you to Susie, Ann, and Michelle. Your small but mighty group started a movement that now numbers in the thousands of strong women from Butler, Westmoreland, Armstrong, Allegheny, and Fayette counties. Our combined passion, energy, and generosity makes the Women's Leadership Council the force it is today, the third largest women's leadership council in the United States. The 20th anniversary of our Women's Leadership Council also coincides with a new chapter for the United Way that we announced earlier this summer, one that includes a more holistic strategic framework that builds seamlessly on this work of the Women's Leadership Council and the work that we have done on behalf of women. Moving forward, United Way will be focusing on 3 core imperatives. First, meeting basic needs, such as addressing food insecurity and housing. Second, moving people to greater financial stability, overcoming barriers to employment and improving employment opportunities. And third, building success in school and life, because every child, every person deserves the opportunity to learn and reach their full potential. These challenges that face our community don't exist in demographic silos. They all intersect with one another, but they do have a disproportionate impact on people of color, people with different abilities, and especially on women. So that's why the work of the Women's Leadership Council on behalf of women and families will remain at the heart of our strategy as we move United Way forward. That's why your support and leadership through Women's Leadership Council has never been more important, especially now during our annual workplace campaign, which provides the overwhelming majority of the financial ability for us to do this critical work. For 20 years, WLC has been blessed with strong leadership from within our organization. And this year, I'm happy to say that couldn't be more true. We are very fortunate to be led by our 2 new WLC co-chairs, Stephanie Shulo and Carrie Brown. Let me tell you just a little bit more about both of them. Stephanie Shulo is the Vice President and Chief Legal Officer, Corporate Social Responsibility and Public Affairs for MSA, the safety company. Stephanie is on the board of directors of the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater and the Greater Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce. She has served as adjunct faculty at the University of Pittsburgh and Duquesne University Schools of Law. We'll be hearing from Stephanie shortly, but first, I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie's co-chair, Carrie Brown. Carrie is a vice president for Giant Eagle. She has held leadership positions in several community and philanthropic organizations and serves as the current vice chair of the board of directors for the Education Partnership. Carrie's also a proud graduate of the University of Pittsburgh. Hail to Pitt. So I'm going to turn it over now to our WLC co-chair, Carrie Brown. Welcome, Carrie.
Thank you, Bobby. Stephanie and I are so excited to be with you today as we kick off this year's campaign. As Bobby said, what makes the WLC so special is that we all bring our own experiences, talents, and passions to the table. For me, and where I am in my life right now, I love the opportunity to volunteer as a family so I can pass on the importance of giving back to my children. For you, it might be the opportunity to network and mentor others. Maybe your passion is commenting in the chat section of the Zoom conference. Probably not, but I'm going to ask everyone to do that now and share what excites you about WLC by typing it into the comment thread. Later on, Stephanie will tell you how you can share that passion out to your social network. For those of you that are new to the WLC, or maybe considering joining, you should know that the WLC is a for you experience. That is to say, membership does not obligate you to add anything more to your busy schedule than you want. If you're looking for in-person volunteering opportunities, there are plenty to choose from. If you are more interested in networking with other leaders, you will have many ways to do that. You may want to serve on a committee, or you may choose to let your generosity do the talking. And believe me, with nearly 2,200 members, we're speaking volumes. The point is, no one does it all, but together there is nothing we can't do. What unites us is the collective power of women leadership making real impact on the lives of others. And this year, 20 years since the first meeting of those 5 amazing women, we are on a course for a true milestone. During this year's campaign, we have the opportunity to break the $100 million mark as an organization. Just imagine, it could be your gift that puts us over the top. But more importantly, your financial support will make a critical difference as needs in our community continue to rise. Last year during the pandemic, United Way's 211 hotline received a record number of calls and online requests for assistance. And 3 out of 4 of those requests came from women. Women who didn't know where to turn when their job was eliminated, when there was no food to put on the table, when she or a parent needed help registering to get vaccinated. United Way was able to respond in real time because we had the support and leadership of people like you. To tell you about one of those women helped through those efforts, I want to introduce Cinda Watkins. Cinda is a senior manager of the United Way's 211. Hello, Cinda.
Good morning, everyone. It's truly a pleasure to be here with all of you today for the amazing 20th anniversary of the WLC kickoff. I'm here today to tell you a story, but honestly, it's not just the story of an individual person, but it is truly the story of an entire village. And I use that saying many times when I say it takes a village. And in these situations, it definitely takes a village that includes 211, the United Way, community partners, the WLC, me, and all of you that are here in the audience, and how by coming together, we truly can make a difference with people in our community. So I do want to tell you the story of Jessica. Jessica is 28 years old. She had led what I would consider to be a really challenging life. She grew up in the foster care system. She had been moved home to home. When she aged out of that system, she unfortunately found herself homeless. All she really wanted to do was get a job, be able to support herself, and have her own home. She took it one hurdle at a time. She was able to finish her education. She was able to secure employment. And just before the pandemic happened, she was actually able to move into her own home with her young daughter. But that's when she reached out to 211. And unfortunately, she had been knocked down once again. She was 22 weeks into a pregnancy that was very difficult. She had been placed on complete bed rest. Because she wasn't working and had no income, she found herself with very little food. And she did what all parents and all mothers would do, and that was to give her daughter the food that they had left. And she herself hadn't eaten in 2 days when she reached out to 211. She was also running low on diapers. She had no money for transportation and no money to, even if she was able to get somewhere, to actually purchase anything. She called us. She was distraught. She was scared, like any of us would be, and crying. The 211 Resource Navigator was able to give her resources to get her connected with diapers, emergency financial assistance, but most importantly, we were able to do a direct referral for an emergency food access program that was created in our community that Jewish Family and Community Services, being one of the partners, was able to actually deliver her food and groceries that very same day so that she didn't have to go another day hungry, so that her daughter didn't have to go another day hungry. And once she had eaten and felt much better, she was able to get connected to other referrals for the other things that she was in need of to help her unborn child, and her daughter to be able to overcome that situation. So I really want to take this opportunity on behalf of Jessica and the countless other unnamed people that your support helps every day through the amazing work of the WLC. But most importantly, I want to thank each of you individually for your passion, for your dedication that you show by being an active part of this village. And it truly is a village that I'm very proud to be part of. So thank you. Now I'd like to turn it over and introduce Carrie's partner in chairing the WLC, Stephanie Shulo. Good morning, Stephanie.
Thank you, Cinda. Helping women like Jessica meet their basic needs and move to financial stability is a critical part of the United Way's response to the pandemic. And the statistics are indisputable. Women were hit harder by the events of the past 18 months than the population as a whole. We saw the number of referrals to agencies addressing the needs of women surge last year and continue to increase. That means we must rise to the challenge. Last year, WLC members contributed $9.2 million to help the United Way respond to the needs of our community. And that money stayed right here, directly working in our communities throughout our 5 counties. This year, we ask you to consider taking the WLC 20 for 20 challenge and pledge 20% more than last year. Not just because it's a milestone year for us, but because the needs in our community, especially for women like Jessica raising families, they've never been greater. Our data shows that the amount of money that families need to avert a financial crisis has increased 50% since the pandemic. Pre-COVID, an average grant of $366 was enough to assist an individual or family with meeting their basic needs. The average grant size needed now is $580, and more than 80% of those grants are going to women who have reached out for help. You can be that helping hand when they need it the most. In the next few weeks, we'll be making a special announcement about how your gift in the campaign this year will be even more impactful. So stay tuned for that exciting news. There's never been a better time to become a WLC member or to increase your investment in our mission and in our community than right now, either as an individual member or during your company's workplace campaign. Earlier, Carrie invited you to comment on what your passion is for the WLC. I saw so many inspired and inspiring passions that all of you shared. I typed in that I was passionate about women working together. So share your passion as you did today, and let's continue to share your passion throughout this campaign year. Let's make sure that the world knows. You should have already received a link with some of the tools to celebrate the WLC's 20th anniversary kickoff, including a selfie sign and instructions